Hi, I'm Thomas, and today I'll be discussing Joseph Stalin and the Great Purge. To begin, Joseph Stalin was born on December 18th, 1878, in the village of Gori in the Russian province of Georgia and served as the leader of the Soviet Union from January 21st, 1924, all the way until he died March 5th, 1953. His title was General Secretary of the Central Committee of the Communist Party of the Soviet Union after the death of Vladimir Lenin, which basically made him a dictator. He held that title until it was abolished, which then made him premier of the Soviet Union from 1941 on. In 1899, he joined the Social Democrats, Russia's Marxist political party, and became a professional revolutionary. After being arrested in 1902, he was exiled to Siberia. However, he would soon escape, which created a pattern of being arrested, exiled, and escaping 6 times. Then the Social Democrats split into two factions: the Bolsheviks, which were led by Lenin, and then the Mensheviks. Stalin joined the Bolsheviks, and as World War I began in 1914, he was very active in the political meetings and such that he was noticed more and more by Lenin. He was appointed to the Bolshevik Central Committee and also changed his last name to Stalin, which meant Steel One. After successes from Russia and the war, the Bolsheviks became the Communist Party, and Russia became the Union of Soviet Socialist Republics. Stalin became General Secretary in 1922, and as he started rapidly gaining personal power, everyone was oblivious to his dangerousness. Nearing Lenin's death in 1924, Lenin wrote a testament warning against Stalin's influence. However, it was ignored, and Stalin remained in power. Stalin started his rise to power first by expelling his rival, Trotsky from the party in 1927 and exiling him from the Soviet Union in 1929. He then, very intelligently, made the rightists kill off the leftists, and then when he secured his position by destroying Bukharin's power. By 1930, Stalin stood alone at the top of the party and the Soviet Union. As he was in complete control, he began to industrialize and modernize the Soviet Union with his 5-year plan, which lasted from 1927 to 1932. Based on Marxist principles, reigning government control of the economy. Part of his plan included redistributing stolen land from the wealthiest peasants and led to the government killing the peasantry, famine sweeping the country, and close to 10 million may have died. But even then, Stalin's power hadn't moved, besides in his home when his wife, Nadeja, committed suicide in 1932. In December of 1934, Stalin had Sergei Kirov, a Politburo member, assassinated for suspicion of opposing Stalin's rule. There had been the Great Terror next, which was a period when Stalin had all his enemies, those known and suspected, murdered or shipped to Siberian prisons. The Great Terror occurred during the Moscow show trials of 1936 to 1938, while World War I was fast approaching. Hitler rose to power in Germany, and Stalin contemplated forming a defensive alliance with Britain and France against the Nazis. However, he wanted to avoid war at all costs. To do so, he signed the 1939 Nazi-Soviet Pact, which pledged that the two dictatorships would not attack each other, but allowed Stalin to take over the Baltic states and eastern Poland, and start a war in Finland. However, in June of 1941, Germany invaded the Soviet Union. In the beginning, the Red Army suffered catastrophic defeats, but soon rallied and then crushed the Nazis the Nazis at Stalingrad in 1942 to 1943 and came closer to victory. After Germany fell, he utilized Red Army troops to forcibly install communist governments in Eastern Europe and further his country's interests around the world. Then he launched a new wave of repression in the Soviet Union, and by 1949, Soviet scientists had exploded an atomic bomb, which gave them nuclear parity with the U.S., causing the Cold War. In Stalin's final years, he still posed a threat. He had given Kim To-sung of North Korea the clearance to start the 1950 Korean War and launch more persecutions at home against the Jews. It seems he had been planning anti-Semitic measures, including a purge of his associates in the party, but then he died on March 5th, 1953.